evening, everyone. Tonight's episode is all about pet dementia because it's Dementia Awareness Week for humans. So I thought it would just be appropriate to do something similar for pets because pet dementia is actually very sadly underdiagnosed, and often some of the symptoms and signs are actually just attributed to other aging processes. So I've just written a blog all about it as well. But tonight I'm going to actually focus more on brain training and how we can support our pet's cognitive function through exercising the brain. But we'll also be covering some of the other bits that I covered in my blog post as well. So I'm Dr. Helen. I'm an A&E doctor and an advocate for integrative wellness, as well as an animal aromatherapy specialist. And you can hear, I think, my bunny Doris down here. So I love to use essential oils to support the health and well-being of myself and my pets and help educate people to do the same for their family, whether that's human or pet. So if you like what you're listening to, please hit the subscribe button or follow so I can carry on creating more content. And let me know in the comments what you want to know about. Would you like to get essential oils into your life? Why not book in for a free chat with me or come to one of my classes to find out how oils can support you or your pet? Or maybe you've got oils already, but you don't know how to use them best for either you or your pets. So that's okay, because I can do general overviews or full consultations as well, depending on your needs. So do drop me a message and we can chat about what the best option is for you. So pet dementia, or to give it its proper term, it's cognitive dysfunction syndrome, or canine cognitive dysfunction if you're talking about dogs. Now, there's lots of different things, and as the dog ages, what we can see is increased restlessness, less sort of exploratory behaviour, confusion. They'll probably have alterations to their sleep-wake cycle, so they might be roaming at night and not getting back to sleep. And, as I said, it can often be underdiagnosed. Now, there is lots to do. Now, the first thing, obviously, always is let's look at nutrition. Now, I'm a big fan of raw food for my dogs, but adding in sort of antioxidant-rich foods like blueberries and green veg. Now, I can't even begin to tell you the amount of times I've lost kale or broccoli. I mean, one of my dogs, my Springer, Evie, she loves to come up with me when we feed my bunny Doris, and it's a little bit of kale for Doris and a little bit of kale for Evie, and I can actually use kale as a training treat. Excuse me. And, my dogs love these, and it's all so good for them as well, particularly for their brain health. Now, there's other things that I like to add in. Now, obviously, I'm a big advocate for using essential oils, and I love to add in DDR Prime to their food, which is a great blend to support cellular function, cellular health, and also supports the brain as well, because it's very rich in antioxidants. And antioxidants are what you need to promote the molecule of which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and that helps with the neuroplasticity in the brain. And so that's really what creates new neural pathways. So as different bits of the brain die off, you can actually create new neural pathways by having an antioxidant-rich diet, which scoops up all the inflammation that all the the inflammatory processes which go on in the brain. And then also with brain training as well, you can actually support those new neural pathways. So recreating, if you think about having a field, and you've got a path around the edge, well, you can actually create more paths through that grassy field if you just walk that path regularly and keep training your pet to do that. And it's a similar way that you can retrain different behaviours in a dog that you want to create. For example, a dog that's anxious or reactive and things like that. So lots of different ways that you can do that. So lots of games. Now, obviously, as dogs get older, their mobility decreases, and I've obviously got disabled dogs. But that doesn't mean that they still can't get involved in activities. Now, I'm a big fan. I've got a stroller for my disabled dogs, and when I had my elderly girl, Toffee, she would go in the stroller as well, because it's so good for them being out in nature. It's good for us, for our mental health, but it's so good for our dogs as well. And particularly if you've got several dogs, it's really nice for your dogs to be out with their companions so that they're not left at home and they're basically able to enjoy being out with them and interacting, smelling all the things that are going on. I mean, even when I just take my disabled dogs out, just for a walk down the street in their stroller, I might go to post a letter and I'll be like, I'll take the boys in a stroller. They love it. They are so engaged with all the city smells. I mean, both the dogs are city dogs. You know, they're from the streets, one from Romania, one from Afghanistan, and they absolutely love the vibe in the city. And you can just see how much excitement they've got from that. So that's really crucial because they are smelling everything. Dogs live in a very much a scent-driven world. And so obviously, you know, taking them out to enjoy all the aromas, even if they can't mobilize very well, they're still going to be having some fun. Now, certain things I like to do. Now, when I had my elderly girl, Toffee, she could only walk a very small bit. But what we'd do is we'd find walks where we could walk a bit and she could rest and my springers could do all their springy things. And, you know, if we went to one of these playing fields sometimes and she'd be lying on the ground and I'd scatter treats within her area. So all she had to do was just move her neck in order to get the treats, and she really enjoyed that. And nice healthy treats. I always make everything myself, so one of her faves was liver fudge, but you know, some little peanut biscuits or different, there's so many different recipes you can do. And I get one of these silicone tray liners that are the pyramid ones and turn it upside down, and then you have those little pyramid shaped biscuits. So lots of different things that you can do with those, or just, you know, even, you know, it might be some cut up apple if they like apple, or cut up kale. You know, I know I've got a dog who'd really like that. So that's a little trick there. Or you can get these little pocket balls that actually open with and shut with Velcro. So that's quite good as well. You can get a couple of those, put some different treats in that, or just a treat in one, and let your dog work out where it is. I also do that in my hand. So I will play hide and seek. I will have a treat in one hand and nothing in the other, and make my dog sniff it out. Snuffle mats are great for the older dogs. You can really tuck all the treats in there. Really, again, they're engaged in their foraging. It doesn't have to be massively they don't have to be massively mobile to do that. And again, it's really good. Things like Kongs and lick mats as well. Make it interesting with what you're putting on it. So I do like the organic peanut butter, but also yogurt as well with some banana mashed up in it is a real favorite. And often when I'm making up a smoothie for myself, I'll often put a little bit on a lick mat or something. You know, I tend to have berries and greens in my smoothie, so obviously the dogs like that a lot. But pureed, another good one is actually you can get the really good organic pureed baby food. So as long as it's got no added sugar, but there's some quite nice little combinations there that the dogs can actually really enjoy as well. Other things I like are the Nina Otterson toys. They're the brain training toys. So they might be a sort of something that's got things that slide over where you hide the treat, and something that you can lift up to hide the treat under. So my dogs all like that, and that's something I used to do with my dog Toffee, who towards the end of her life was quite immobile to a certain extent. She was all right once she stood on grass for short periods, but she could still move her head and her paws. But it was, excuse me, I've got quite a tight throat there, so I've got my air blend on, and I'll get some water in a minute. But there was lots of different things that I could do there as well. Now, other things you could do that's really got a lot of interaction is like hand targeting. Get them to hand target to target with their nose on your hand, and you can move it into different areas. Now, I also like the Real Dog Yoga. You can get the book. It's by Jo Rosie Huffenden. Now, there's certain exercises in there that my dogs can't do if they're not very mobile, but there's things like stretching, teaching them to stretch to the left, to the right, raise the paw, wave the paw. And again, this is all really good for building that cognitive function, encouraging them to learn. Another thing that I do is I have a bullseye. I've laminated a bullseye, and I will actually teach my dog to target different colours on the bullseye. You could do it with different shapes or ring a bell. Or you can get those buttons as well that you can program with different words, which are also really good. But there's so many different things that you can actually do. I'm just being joined by my cat, Holly. So if you're listening to this, you're probably like, what is that? Okay, yes. So my beautiful cat here, who isn't suffering with any dementia at all. She's still in the prime of life. But my beautiful Paddington cat, my ginger cat, who's now passed away, he did have a little bit of confusion towards the end of his life, and you'd suddenly be hearing this whine, and he'd just appeared behind the sofa, and you'd have to go and rescue him. But he would actually come out in the stroller with my dogs. Actually used to come everywhere in the camper van, so he had his own little bed and things. And with the older dogs, sometimes they can get confused about elimination, and they might get confused about where their litter tray is or how to get in the litter tray. And a few times I'd find him having fallen over in his litter tray, so having one with lower sides can be really beneficial. But also, I think you just have to kind of have a bit of a sense of humor about it, and just I'd put towels on the floor, knowing that he's probably going to pee on them, and I just throw them in the washing machine. It's it's no biggie. Wet dog mats as well on the beds if they do have a problem, because sometimes they can't get to the toilet very well, or sometimes they may just not recognise if they've got really confused that they actually need to go to the toilet. So you can get little diapers and things for the dogs. All right, like I said, I love the Jacobs then do some really good wet dog mats actually. So, but I've done a whole different video on incontinence in pets. If you look on my YouTube channel, I've got a full video on that. But I hope that's given you some ideas about sort of some brain training. Now, obviously, if you've got a dog that is restless as well, essential oils are going to be absolutely fantastic for that. They're going to be great for the sleep-wake cycle at night, so helping your dog soothe, or your cat be soothed. So things like, I love the Serenity Blend and Balance and Papaver. So they're a really great trio. Serenity is very known as the restful blend. Balance is all about calming and grounding. And then you have Papaver, which has a high level of beta caryophyllene, which works on the endocannabinoid system. And so that combination can be really super effective for calming an anxious pet, or relaxing the pet so they will go to sleep. And also, if you want some extra focus, then diffusing some of the citrus oils are really good, because that can help really good cognitive function, so particularly lemon. But Papaver is also going to be good for brain health as well. So just having that little bit extra, is super beneficial. And don't forget peppermint as well. Now, peppermint's a really great one for improving cognitive function as well. And it actually helps, some of the other oils as well can actually support the brain by inhibiting some of the breakdown of the enzyme that breaks down one of the neurotransmitters. And peppermint's really good for doing that, supporting that process as well as some of the citrus oils and some others. So, but certainly peppermint. Not all cats like peppermint, so do be mindful of that. I have a cat who actually doesn't mind peppermint at all. She quite likes it, but certainly it's again very good for the dog. So it's worth having a play around. I really like the Thinker roller, which is one of the kids blends that doTERRA does, to roll on my hand, which really helps encourage focus, which is really good for my giddy Springer, who hasn't got any dementia, but it's really good sometimes for helping her bring her back. But Balance itself is really good for bringing us back to balance, and so particularly good for the older dogs. And you can apply that topically or diffuse it. And if you're going to use something like Serenity, you would need to dilute that, and I probably put 4 drops in a 10 ml roller, and then you can just roller that on, or just pop it in the diffuser. And a little blend for you would be 2 drops Balance, 2 drops Serenity, and 1 drop Papaver in a diffuser, which would be really nice for soothing an anxious dog and also helping them at night to get off to sleep. But there's lots of different ideas there. If you need any help with your pet at all, please drop me a message. If you've already got oils, I can do a consultation for you, or if you haven't got oils but want to know more about them, then let me send you my latest recording of my free class, or just send me a message and we can just arrange a 15-minute sort of wellness chat. So let me know in the comments if you like what you've heard. Please leave me a 5-star review. Please share to your stories as well, so that I can carry on creating more content by getting some more followers. Be much appreciated. And do follow and subscribe. So whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it on my podcast, please hit the subscribe button, and stay safe and stay well, everyone. Till next week. Bye.